Welcome to Mr. V Teaching Math. In this session, we're going to be looking at the GCF, which is short for the greatest common factor. This is a useful little tool when you're dealing with fractions, and that's why we want to learn how to do it. But before we get to the GCF, we're going to talk about factors. Because we need to know how to do factors before we can do the GCF. So, what are the factors of 12? Well, I know that 1 times 12 will work. Those are its factors. What else do I do? No. And this is where we learned the divisibility rules. Is this number divisible by 2? Yes, it is. 2 times 6. This number divisible by 3? Yes, this number is divisible by 3. 3 times 4, actually. And how do you usually know that you're done this? When you run into the next number. You noticed here's 3, and then I bumped into number 4. I can stop here because I know there aren't going to be any more. What about 20? Well, of course, 1 times 20. That's easy. Is this number divisible by 2? Yes, it is. 2 times 10 works. Is this number divisible by 3? Well, I know my divisibility rules, so the answer is no, it's not. Is it divisible by 4? Well, yes, it is. And that's because I know my times tables. 4 times 5. Notice once again I've run into the next half of the numbers, so I know I don't need to do any more. That's how to find a set of factors. Now, what about the GCF, the greatest common factor? In that case, you take two sets of factors, the factors of 12 and 20, and you find the greatest common factor, the highest one that's the same. And that's pretty simple. It's 4. So, the GCF, greatest common factor of 12 and 20, is 4. Now, those were relatively simple numbers to work with. It gets a little bit tougher when you're starting to deal with numbers that look like this. This doesn't come so easily. Once again, I start by building up my pool of factors. I know that 1 and 76 will work. What else will work? Well, 2 is going to work. 2 times what? Well, I have to sit there and do some math and figure it out. 38 in this case. Is it divisible by 3? No, it isn't. Is it divisible by 4? Well, sometimes you just have to sit there and actually divide by 4 and so on. In this case, I happen to know that it is. 4. And once again, doing a bit of math, I know it's 4 times 19. I'm going to try 5. It doesn't work. 6. Well, 3 didn't work, so I know 6 doesn't work. Does 7 work? Well, no, I can't divide 7. I'll try 8. I'll try 9. And I have to go through a whole bunch of them. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, until I bump into the 19 and realize that I'm done. What about 34? 1 and 34, of course. It is indeed divisible by 2. To do a little bit of math, and I know this 2 times 17. Now I have to try 3. 3 doesn't work. 4. 4 doesn't work. 5, 6, and go all the way through until I bump into the 17 and realize that I'm done. And now, if I ask the question, what is the GCF, or the greatest common factor of these two? Well, 2 is the greatest common factor. Sometimes the only common factor they will have is 1, and that's important to find out too. And that's how you find out the GCF.